Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into the show that's on in the afternoon. Happy Monday to you. Looking forward to a great show.
Great show
here
today.
This afternoon.
Yes.
Legendary baseball coach just recently announced his retirement from Flagler College after 37 years.
What a local hero. This is awesome.
A guy who I believe started coaching when our very own Troy Blevins started playing college baseball.
Oh,
yeah.
we got to jump into this
We
now.
gotta find out some. We gotta find out some of the real stories, because Troy's told us a lot of stories about playing high school ball, but they always seem to be slanted in his favor.
True story.
So you wonder what the real stories are with
definitely,
Troy.
Yeah.
So
What really went on in the dugout? Yeah.
excited to talk to Coach Dave Barnett.
Yeah.
As he gets ready to move on after, again, 37 seasons. Wow, man.
Epic.
Super impressive. Left a huge mark on that Flagler College sports world, and can't wait to talk to him here very, very shortly. Of course, we've got your events coming up. We've got your horoscopes. We've got some great stuff ahead for you. But let's get it started by telling you about our great friends at Bozard Ford Lincoln. Hey, since 1949, Bozard Ford Lincoln, been more than just a dealership. They are a family-owned beacon of trust right here in St. Augustine. Founded on the principles of honesty, integrity, and community service, the Bozard family tradition continues to thrive through generations. They've got that state-of-the-art service facility, 91 climate-controlled bays in there, a quick lane if you just need to pop in and out on your lunch break, no appointment-needed maintenance there. Plus, you can enjoy the comforts of their customer lounge and the unique flavors of Ford's Garage.
I heard that.
They are proud recipients of the prestigious Triple Crown Award and named Florida's Dealer of the Year by Dealer Rater. They've got a team that is dedicated to providing an enjoyable and an efficient experience. The best in pricing, selection, and service, where your satisfaction is their mission, and they are driven to inspire. Also, our friends at the Bailey Group, getting enrolled in a health insurance or Medicare plan does not have to be complicated. In fact, it can be quite the opposite. Out there at the Bailey Group, you're going to work with a local insurance advisor. It's going to help you find just the right coverage for your specific needs and your budget. Everybody really clamping down on the budget right now, so it's important to find something that fits in there and still keeps you covered.
It's efficient. Yep.
Their goal is to make getting covered simple. No added costs, no extra fees. The Bailey Group handles individual health and Medicare corporate benefits and financial needs for their clients. Give them a call. Let them do that for you. 904-461-1800. And, of course, the great folks down there at Elace Med Spa. If you are looking for a relaxing and rejuvenating experience, look no further than Elace Med Spa. At Elace, they specialize in providing their clients with a wide range of luxurious spa treatments and advanced medical aesthetic procedures. There we go. Whether you're looking for to unwind with a relaxing hydrofacial or enhance your natural beauty with things like laser treatments, dermal fillers, Botox, body contouring, they do it all and they do it the best. You have high standards and Elace has high standards. It's beauty on your terms. They are Elace Med Spa. Visit them at elace.com.
They're the ultimate dream team on the beauty scene.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Dave Barnett knows a little bit about putting together dream teams. He's been coaching out there at Flagler College baseball's program for 37 years.
Amazing.
Now. Wow, man.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to him about what retirement feels like and what's next. What is next? Dave Barnett joining us this afternoon. Good to see you, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Glad to have you.
Yeah.
So let's first start out with talking about Troy Blevins.
Okay, yeah, let's get into
Was
this.
he just a nightmare to have on your team? Is it true that you guys you started coaching the same year he started playing?
Right, yeah. Now, I got the job, and, back then we were on a 10-month contract because I was on a faculty contract. So I was offered the job in May but couldn't start until August.
Okay.
And school started right after Labor Day at that point. And anyway, I did a little bit of recruiting since I was appointed the head coach in May, so I had to get a few players in, and Troy played for the same coach that I played for in junior college at Seminole Community College.
Okay.
Oh, wow. So I called him because I always respected him. He helped me a lot, and he said, well, I've got an outfielder and a pitcher that I think could help you. And the outfield was Troy Blevins.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Amazing that you stayed around with a player like him being recruited after your first year.
He was a good addition to what we had. I inherited, of course, the 16 guys that were there. I didn't know much about any of them. I had never seen any of them play, so I wanted to just maybe bring in a few guys to, kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together, and
Right.
and we needed an outfielder, and Troy was a good outfielder for us. I think he led off. Actually, he was a good base runner and could run the
Okay.
ball down in the outfield. And
Some of his teammates over time compare him to like a Kenny Powers or somebody that the bad boy of baseball has come up occasionally.
That
Yes.
sounds about right. Well, we've talked about Troy enough. Honestly,
totally,
we've
it's done.
Troy's
That's
head is
enough.
too big now watching, so we're gonna move on. So, let's go back a little bit more. What inspired you to really get into coaching? What made you want to coach baseball?
Well, I think it started as a youngster in Little League, and I always tell people my dad never played baseball, so I wasn't pushed into that sport. He was supportive, or both my parents were supportive of whatever I did, but I played high school football and ran track, and my
Okay.
dad was a football and track guy, so I was involved in that. But baseball, I didn't start playing until I was 8 years old, so I was a little bit late, and I wasn't good at first, and then I developed a little bit just through Little League coaches that really, as I think about it, they helped me, and so I had some success in the sport and just kept playing it. Again, just played it during the season. I didn't, they didn't have travel ball back then, so I only played baseball
Okay.
during baseball season. But I always really enjoyed it. So now, fast forward, you play high school baseball, and now I thought I wanted to play college baseball, but wasn't recruited at all. So I went as a walk-on to Seminole Community College, which I mentioned, and that coach was really inspired me. So I guess as far as getting into coaching, just my experience as a player and the impact that the coaches had on me from Little League all the way through college kind of inspired me to say, I'd like to coach, especially at the college level someday.
And you've got a pretty interesting story about how you ended up at Flagler College. It was almost sort of by accident, right?
Yes, it certainly was. In fact, I needed to finish school. I played 3 years of college baseball, and I signed professionally with the old Montreal Expos organization, and
Okay.
played in their minor league system for a short time, and now it was time to go back to school because I had not finished. And so I looked through college catalogs, and I ran across Flagler College and came up here, and kind of the rest is history. That was actually 1980.
Okay.
So I helped out Glenn Aspinwall, who had been the head coach here for 9 years. I coached with him for 2 of the years I was here, and then was gone for about 4 or 5 years. I went to get my graduate degree at University of Iowa. And the reason I did that all back then, back in those times, you had to have a master's degree to coach in college.
Oh, wow.
Because most of the time you had to
Wow.
teach too. College baseball wasn't a big revenue-driven sport. I mean, now
Okay.
there's colleges out there making money off baseball.
Oh, yeah.
But so everybody almost all coaches had to teach, so you had to go get a master's degree. So I did that just to get myself in a position academically so I could coach at the college level. And so I moved back to Florida after graduating from Iowa, and I got a call from Darwin White, the dean of students at Flagler, and said that Glenn Aspinwall has resigned, and would you be interested in the position?
Wow, the timing is perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, so it
yeah.
just by chance, and I never, I had put my resumes out for a lot of different openings, but no
No leads
avail
or, yeah.
really, and it was ironic that Flagler would reach out, and anyway, that was 1987.
But this wasn't like a turnkey spot here, right? You actually had to take this from like a grassroots campaign to like make baseball, better at Flagler, right? Talk about what it was like when you first got here.
Yeah, it was a challenge, and I think I knew from my experience helping before that it was going to be a challenge because it was a young school, young program. I remember when I got the job, and I really tried to promote. I sent letters out to every high school coach in Florida, kind of introducing myself and introducing the program, saying, hey, Flagler College, we're an NAIA school in beautiful St. Augustine, Florida. It's a nice campus, and told them a little bit about the academic side. But I'd get a lot of calls from other coaches saying, oh, are y'all a junior college? And I'd say, no, we've never been a junior college. That we just didn't have a real identity back then. But again, it was because we were a young program, a young school. So really trying to just market the college and our program was a challenge in those early years.
And it's not like, we drive around town and we see your baseball team all over billboards now and all that stuff. And it's really, really cool. I love the attention that Flagler College is now putting on their sports programs. And they've been ramping that up over the last 10 years or so. But when you first got in, I mean, there was no emphasis. There was barely a budget for sports, right? I mean, it just wasn't Flagler College. It wasn't a big focus for Flagler College.
Yeah, and it was difficult to get, especially, you got to remember now, there was St. Augustine High School. Nice had just started. There were, limited number of high schools, St. Joe's. So as a coach, you want to make sure to focus on the area schools and then expand from there. But if St. Augustine had a good player, it was tough for me to get them because they were, we didn't have a big reputation. It wasn't that we weren't good. It was just that, we were NAI, and every player wants to either go Division I or Division II. There weren't that many NAI schools in the whole state. There were actually 4 at one point.
Oh, wow.
When I first started. So it was, we weren't a big market for, and then local players that, Flagler wasn't much of a place for them that they wanted to go, where that's totally changed. It's amazing. Now, of course, we have more high schools in St. Johns County, but there's the players really, I mean, they want to go to Flagler, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat.
It's really cool.
We're getting kids from, Creekside and we've had some
Bartram
kids
Trail,
St. Augustine, Bartram Trail, and we got some of our alumni. In fact, the head coach at Creekside played for me, and the head coach at Decoy, Phil Weiser, played for me. So there's those kind of Flagler connections that have kind of evolved over the years. But yeah, it's interesting now.
When did it start shifting for you in your career? When did you all of a sudden say, like, okay, I've hit my stride. I'm seeing that we're building a dynasty now. Like, here we go. When was that?
Well, probably the late 1990s and 2000. That's when our stadium was
Best time of the
was
year,
opened
but-
in 2000.
Nice.
And that was a total transformation. We literally 1999 got lights. So that had been 13 years I'd been here with we had no lights.
Guacamole.
And then now we've got we've got permanent seating. It seats about 700, and
That's awesome.
So we went from having not much of a facility to now one of the nicer ones at the time in NAI.
Nice.
And that was that's when we really took off.
Cool.
So how do you describe kind of your coaching philosophy? And a lot of coaching is about building men, right? Building adults. So what was kind of your philosophy, and what were the values you were kind of trying to instill in your players over the years?
Well, I think baseball, I always tell our players, I know all sports teach a lot of discipline and life's lessons, but I think baseball might teach it better than most in the fact that it's a game of failure. I mean, a 300 hitter makes $1 million in the major leagues. They should, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much now, but you think about you're failing, 7 out of 10 times. You play a lot of games. One game you might be the star of the game. The next day you're the GOAT. So your emotions are involved in baseball. You have to stay the course. You have to have a kind of be on an even keel mentally to be a consistently good player, and that's the challenge I think anybody that plays the game of baseball. But yeah, you can teach a lot of life lessons through baseball, and that's been my ultimate goal. I mean, winning and losing games. Yeah, I want to win like any coach, but you win with good players. I've always said, and especially as I grew older as a coach, you realize that you feel like you can everything, or you can develop players as far as you can just make them better. Well, yeah, that's our job to do, but they have to have some talent to begin with.
Right.
So some of my best teams were the most talented teams that I didn't have to coach them up as much as they say now. It's so that's important, I think, for anybody that wants to get in a profession. We all think that, we can, I got all this knowledge, and I can take somebody that's never hit and make them a good hitter. I can make somebody throw 90 that's never thrown 85 or something. No, there's a lot of training that's involved in that, but we're not. Coaching's a little overrated, and that might sound crazy that you're hearing me say this, but good players make good coaches.
Wow, that's profound. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you think are some of the most memorable moments over your coaching career? That may be hard to distill down into just a few for this show here right now, but What are some of the few that always kind of stick to the top of your mind?
Well, that's a good question, and I've been asked that before, and I try to reflect on. Somebody said, are there certain games? And there's probably a few games I think about where, especially playoff type games, where we had no chance of winning, and we came up with a quote game plan, and the guys executed it. We upset some teams that we weren't supposed to. In fact, this latest run by this 2024 team was quite remarkable in the sense that, I don't know if you followed our season, but we started out 0-8, and that was the second worst start ever.
Really?
I mean,
Really?
The year before, we started 0-12, and it was, I mean, I was pulling my hair out thinking, well, maybe I should have got out a few years earlier. but we started out 0-8 this year, but these guys showed more resilience and staying the course than any team I've ever had. And so we made a run there in the playoffs. We just finished this past weekend. We played for the conference championship, which our guys were upset we didn't win, and we came close, but I had to remind them and tell them, look, this is the first time in 15 years since we've been a member of the NCAA that we made it to the championship game of the tournament.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I said, that's quite
huge.
You know, you guys need to reflect and realize what you accomplished here. I mean, we had never in all 15 years got to the championship game of the tournament. We've won the regular season before, but not the, we've been to the tournament a lot, but we got to the championship and we were basically a game away from winning.
That's
or
huge.
going to the regional. So it was, they really recovered after a slow start.
What do you think your greatest contribution has been to the Flagler College baseball team?
Well, hopefully just the development and respect of a solid program. I tell our.
I thought you were going to say the lights. I thought that would have been great.
The lights in the stadium were great. But, the alumni, my biggest goal and what I wanted every alumni, anybody that's ever put that uniform on, to when they're out in the workforce or they're somewhere and somebody starts talking about where'd you go to college and, I went to Flagler and I played baseball. And I want everybody to say, wow, you played baseball there. They got a good program. Got a good, solid program. I wouldn't want somebody to be embarrassed saying, I played at Flagler, and them look at records, and we've been bad for years.
Right,
yeah. So,
Yeah.
maybe that's an ego thing, but I wanted all our guys to be proud to put on the uniform and played here and be able to brag about it. And we've got, I could tell you countless stories, but at one point last year, we had 5 Flagler College graduates in the major leagues.
Really?
Yeah, and you'd probably say, well, wait a second. Well, we had one player, Blair Calvo, that got up with the Detroit Tigers the Colorado Rockies for 1 inning. He pitched an inning. They sent him back down to AAA, but he's from Nice High School, so he was a local kid that did well.
Nice.
But he was in the big leagues for obviously a short time, and then we've got an umpire who didn't play baseball at Flagler but graduated, major league umpire named Shane Leibensbarger.
Okay.
We have a bullpen catcher who caught for me for 4 years, and he's now a bullpen catcher, and he's in his 6th season with the Atlanta Braves, a guy named Jimmy Leo, and he has a World Series ring.
Cool.
Hey, there you
he's
go.
part of the team. You might say, well, bullpen catcher, well, that's you got to have
an important role. Absolutely an important role.
Then we had 2 coaches. We had Major League pitching coach Chris Holt, who just finished his 4th year as a Major League pitching coach of Baltimore Orioles. And then another player who is an assistant Major League pitching coach of the Kansas City Royals. He's in his 2nd season.
Wow.
This guy named Zach Bove. So
you got to feel good about that.
Yeah. So all those, and you think about the networking because they all talk, and you're around Major League coaches, managers, and where'd you go to school? I went to Flagler College, and so it's neat. And we've had a lot of Major League. We had Gene Lamont's son that played for me. He was a 2-time manager a year in the Major Leagues in both leagues. And years ago, we've had Johnny Gorel. He managed the Twins a little bit. We've had Dave Tremblay's son. He managed the Orioles. I can go on and on and on, but we've had a lot of, so our connections, professional baseball, are pretty neat as well. Got a good reputation.
That's really amazing. And obviously, a lot of that comes from just how you've been able to build this team over the years, which is so impressive. This program really came from nothing. And to have guys like that, so many of them in the majors, that's a huge accomplishment. And a lot of that, obviously, because of your leadership. Now, that's hard work. That is hard work, building something from nothing. And how do you manage working so much, as hard as you have to work, professionally, and then you're also raising a family. You're also trying to have a personal life. You're also trying to be a human.
Right.
You know, I mean, how did that balance work out over the years? Was that hard to strike that balance in the beginning? How did you adapt
Well,
to it?
I was fortunate. I picked the right partner.
No, that's
There you go.
My
That has
wife,
a lot
Tina,
to do with it.
She honestly, she stepped up to the plate, and she did a lot of work raising 2 children, and you know, running the household and coaching Yargon a lot. You know, and then 2 summers she let me. I had an opportunity to go manage professionally, and she let me go for 2 summers, just totally gone, you know, for almost 3 months. So, you know, she's that was the key. She's the key.
How has your coaching evolved over time, though? I mean, our culture is completely different nowadays. I mean, we have the old social media worlds. We've got a lot of different mental health crisis and pressure with our youth. How have you evolved as a coach to make sure that you accommodate or you inspire people to continue to do their best?
Well, you certainly have a lot more heart than I probably had in my early years because of things like that. I do understand players got a lot going on now. I mean, sometimes it's having to adjust to that is difficult in the sense that, you know, their focus. And it's not their fault.
Right.
I always say I'd be the same way if I was brought up in this time where, you know, with the phone and social media. So I think their concentration level, and I'm speaking, this isn't Flagler, this is all athletes in any sport, you know, just there as a coach trying to keep them focused on their task at hand is been a challenge and an adjustment. You know,
I bet.
I say to them all the time, look, I don't mind repeating myself, but I can't repeat myself, you know, over and over and over. We can't make these mistakes. You can't forget this, you know.
Right.
But they got a lot going on.
Absolutely,
But you know, but kids are good. I will say that, you know, I've never had a problem with. I mean, kids are still respectful.
Have you always been an even keel kind of a coach, or do you have your like Rocky Balboa moments where you lose your mind? And I mean, I grew up with some real drill sergeant kind of coaches in my life, so I'm just kind of curious on like what your technique was, and like, do you see athletes where they are? Are you more of like a sit down kind of a coach? Like what were you on the sidelines like?
Well, in my early years, I was probably a yeller and a screamer, and I think a lot of guys
passion,
are.
yeah.
And then you mellow out some, and you realize that in this generation of players too, you have you reason with them a little bit more, and you communicate, because the yelling and screaming, and it doesn't really they're not going to react to that,
right?
Like maybe the older generation would.
It's
you
like
know, my
communication
generation, I was brought up, and honestly, coaches just use negative reinforcement for challenge. They would tell you, you know, you're going to, you know, you better get this done, or this is going to happen. And, you know, there was a lot of, you know, if you didn't win, you ran. And I was like that in my early years as a coach. We didn't win, Troy will tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, we ran. Guys would quit. And I mean, I was like, you either win this game or you're going to run till you're,
right, your face
dragging.
falls off, right? You got to go to Lace Med spot.
And that's all, that doesn't fly anymore.
Yeah, right.
That's just the way it is.
It's almost like communicating with intention nowadays, and like really, you know, having respect for the art of communication.
So looking ahead, what kind of advice would you give to coaches who are going to be trying to fill your shoes out there in the future at Flagler College?
Well, you know, kind of a lot of what we've talked about, you know, be open-minded, be a good communicator. I think that's the biggest thing nowadays with student athletes, especially college athletes, is you really have to communicate with them. You know, you have to motivate them, you have to teach them, but they got to understand there's more to it, and you got to stay on them. It's just like your kids. When you think about raising your kids, I remember my wife and I it'd be easy to give up when they're not doing what they're supposed to do, whether it's in school or whatever, and you just gotta stay on them. You just you can't give up on them.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's difficult, but it's a good profession.
What would you say to a coach out there that has a series of losses, and how do they turn a win into a winning season? Like, that really does weigh you down, right? When you keep losing game after game, how do you turn that tide?
It's hard sometimes. You know, you can't lose your team, and that's what I think. Not just me, but our whole coaching staff did a good job this year. We could have lost these guys early because the way we were trending, we weren't going in the right direction. It was like anything bad that could happen was happening. And sometimes that happens with teams. But what you have to do is just, like I tell our players, we got a sign in our dugout that says, stay the course. Stay the course. It's going to get better. Mm-hmm. You just got to convince them it's going to get better. And then sometimes it takes something crazy, maybe a walk-off win, and then you take off. Like we lost our first 8, then we won our next 6. Mm-hmm. Nice. So and things kind of started getting better, and then we won 13 of our last 15 games to get in the playoffs and things like that. So you make runs, especially baseball too, because you're playing so many games. It's a little tougher in football and some of those sports. You're playing once a week.
Yeah. Sure.
But,
yeah.
But baseball, you've got to put your emotions in the tank when things don't go well and get ready for the next one.
Yeah.
Are you going to stay connected to the sport at all in any way? I can't imagine somebody with such a passion for the sport of baseball just says, well, I'm done. Is there anything you're looking forward to getting into, even part-time in the sport of baseball? Or are you just going to say, you know what, I'm going to watch it on TV. I'm going to relax and have some chips and drink a beer.
Yeah, that's I'm going to try to do that. The latter.
Good.
I say I don't want to really be involved in baseball. I don't for a little while, probably. I think I've had enough on the field, and the sun beat me up all the time.
Right.
But there's some other things I think I want to do. I'd like to maybe sharpen up my golf game a little bit. I say I want to fish. I'm not a fisherman, but I think I want to get out in the water and try that. See if I can become a decent fisherman. and I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to miss baseball, and at least I'm going to stay in St. Augustine, so I can always go out to Flagler, Drisdale Field, and get my fix.
There you go.
But
I see summer camps. I mean, I'm ready for the book deal. You let me know, okay? I got
There you go. There you go. Well, Coach Dave Barnett,
awesome.
Thank you so much for coming by the studio and sharing kind of your story and your journey with us. It's so incredible and so inspiring, and congratulations on the retirement. I hope you become the best fisherman in the world.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, gentlemen.
Amazing. Thank you, sir.
Very cool career, man.
Very cool career.
Just absolutely amazing, and I'm sure it went by like that.
Yeah. Where he's taken that team to new heights. I love it. It was a great story.
Yeah. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable, kind of like how you can experience downtown St. Augustine on an old town trolley. That was a rough segue, but hey, we got there.
It worked. It's still pinch hitter.
Sit back and relax as Old Town Trolley's licensed and talented tour conductors share over 500 years of St. Augustine's history, our culture, and our old world charm while you experience unforgettable views on their open-air trolleys. Guests going to enjoy the city's European flavor, the brick-lined streets, and the amazing sights such as the Castillo de San Marcos, the Fountain of Youth, and Henry Flagler's former Ponce de Leon Hotel. It's a 90-minute tour, 22 stops, 100 points of interest, and guests can use their ticket all day for on and off boarding. Hop off, do some stuff, jump back on, easy.
Way to do it.
Trolley ticket also includes free admission to the St. Augustine History Museum, things like free shuttle service to many area hotels, and free access to the St. Augustine Beach Bus Shuttle Service. They're the green trains. Check them out next time you are downtown.
And hey, Floridians, let's talk about something we take very seriously. That's air conditioning and heating. We're not about being left in a hot mess of humidity, right? So when was the last time you had your home unit get inspected? Well, for a fabulous 45 years, Steve Chapman's All-American Air has been the AC hero of St. Augustine and beyond. They're talking St. John's, Flagler, Duval, and Putnam counties. They're not just the experts, they're the cool cats of warranty and non-warranty service work. They've got preventative maintenance service agreements, new construction installations, and rocking high efficiency systems from Lennox Wonders to the ultra-smart iComfort thermostat. They've got all your HVAC products in sight. Give them a call today. Get on one of those maintenance plans, 904-461-0070.
And of course, Bin 39 Wine Bar. A great place to stop next time you're downtown as well. And you can enjoy a wonderful atmosphere out there on their patio. Sit out, relax, enjoy, and sip on a glass of wine or two or three or four or five. However many you like, just don't drive if you get over a certain number, please. That's what we would warn you. Yeah. But they've got a huge selection out there, over 95 wines for you to choose from, whether you want to sample, whether you want to sit there and drink a couple glasses or take a bottle home. And if you are looking to find your new favorite wine, Irving and the staff are going to help you do that. There's nobody more knowledgeable on wines.
And they're fun. Like, they're not intimidating.
Yeah.
It's a great
Right.
thing, yeah.
They're not pinky up
No,
and,
no, yeah.
you don't understand what this... No, they want to teach. They love talking
Yeah.
wines. They really, really do. Check them out from 8 to 8 daily. A lot of times they're going to have live music on that patio. It's just a great experience out there at Bin 39 Wine Bar. All right, what's not a great experience is getting your horoscopes told to you from the stars, not us. We don't have any control over this. It's all the stars. Don't yell at us.
Sorry, guys.
Aries, Taurus, and Gemini on deck today. Let's channel the stars, Clay. Beautiful. Aries, brace yourself for a day where your leadership feels more like tyranny. You might just lead everyone off a cliff. Today,
great.
discover the fine line between being assertive and simply being insufferable. Oh,
Not good.
Taurus, your resistance to change is legendary, and today it reaches new heights. You'll find comfort in the familiar, so much so that even the idea of a brand new toothpaste is terrifying. Just get it. Just try it.
Try it.
Yeah. Your bacon-flavored toothpaste. It's not good for the rest of us.
Not good.
Gemini, the master of multitasking. Today, you'll manage to alienate twice the people in half the time.
Hey, that's talent.
It's something. It's a gift, really, being able to speak out of both sides of your mouth with such finesse. Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Godly. Hey, I scream. You scream. We all scream for?
Ice cream.
All right. Join Mayday Ice Cream on Thursday, May 16th for Locals Appreciation Day.
Okay.
They're doing a 50% off scooped ice cream all day long. Whether you're located to their Midtown shop across from Cobblestone or the historic downtown resident, you can kick it beachside on the island. They're there celebrating all of us locals. So yeah, check it out. Go to Mayday on their Facebook page for more information. But May 16th, which is Thursday, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. is Locals Day.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, I thought they'd bring joy a little bit there.
Joy, joy, joy.
Hey, there's a trail celebration happening. Bog Brewing Company, West King Market. This is going to be great for bikers out there. So this is happening Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Check out Bog or Bike St. Augustine to find out some more information. But yeah, some really exciting trails are happening. Yeah, this is one to check out if you're a biker out there. I hear you loud and clear. Just making sure that you have this option to be able to find out what's happening in our community.
Okay. There you go.
Hey, there's a Thursday night cornhole tournament style happening over at V's Pizza.
Okay.
This is brought to you by Old City Cornhole. I had no idea this existed. Okay, it's all set. Mark your calendars. Next Thursday, May 16th, their weekly cornhole night will start at V Pizza and Flask and Cannon. Pizza, beer, and cornhole. Come check out the venue. Bring the kids, and they have an entire contained space dedicated for them to run around and play. They tend to serious business, which is the tournament.
Okay.
No experience needed. If you have enough, if we have enough to register, we'll split the bracket into advanced. Blah blah blah. Check them out. I'll put link in comments. Old City Cornhole.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a pretty fun time over there.
Absolutely.
You ever go out there?
I've only driven by it, and every time I'm like, oh, I gotta go there. Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta go there. So
Yeah.
I definitely this is
It's an experience. Yeah.
more incentive.
There you go. Well, if you need some incentive to beautify yourself,
There's only one place to go.
yeah, Panache.
There it is.
They've been beautifying our peeps here in St. Johns County for a long time, since 1987. Geez, I was only 3.
I know.
I was
They've seen
3
it all.
when they opened their
The
doors.
evolution of
That's it.
hair aesthetics.
They got a great staff down there that is always looking to exceed your wildest expectations. Same goes for their elegant salon space. It's a great place to just relax. It really is. They're dedicated to guest comfort. They're devoted to innovation and artistry, and they're focused on making your day and continually raising the bar. And of course, they align with all of Aveda's missions of sustainable business practices and their high fashion aesthetic. Check them out today. Go to getpanache.com.
And when Troy and Mike Davis were 3, the United Way of St. John's opened up in 1957. That was when it was the community chest. That was the first year they raised $48,000. Well, the United Way of St. John's has changed a lot, but their focus hasn't. Today, with a total impact of over $3 million annually, they continue to fight for the areas of health, education, and financial stability for every person in our community. It's amazing what happens when we live united.
That is the truth, sir.
Hey, I got adorable and funny situations with animals that were perfect to make memes out of.
Okay, let's do it.
First one is, why are owls allowed to do this?
Wow.
It's very
okay.
graceful, though,
yeah,
right?
sure. It almost looks photoshopped.
It almost looks
Owls in their
Photoshopped.
necks, man.
Yeah. Next up, rare photo of a shark stepping on a Lego.
Oh, the universal stepping on a Lego reaction.
Right. Next up, cheetahs are very shy animals. I did not know this. Some zoos give them support dogs like those for humans. This is
Really?
the cutest thing ever.
Yes, it is.
So cute.
Jeez. Oh, just don't let them stay around each other for too long. That cheetah will maul that
Right,
dog later
exactly.
in life.
Maybe when we start
Jeez.
teething. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, when your dog photobombs a great waterfall pic, but it turns out to be okay.
No.
No offense, but that sweet dog is the only good part about that photo.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm not impressed with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, Wally the walrus was given a floating couch in order to stop him from sinking boats.
Wow. Okay. That's
awesome.
one way to handle it, I guess.
He's happy.
Yeah.
Next up, maybe I'm high AF, but I see a lion wearing sunglasses on this cricket.
Look at that.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely
definitely
there.
there.
Next up, male lizard holding up his girlfriend so she can take a nap. What a sweet gentleman.
Oh, look at that.
This never ends. Right. Yeah. Netflix and chill. There it is. All right. Next up, please be careful in the winter. Sometimes animals snuggle close to warm cars for heat. Make sure you check around in case one is hiding.
I don't think you're going to miss that.
Yeah. That's
not
on a
like a
Beamer.
cat. Yeah.
Ugh. Next up, Frank. Frank, man, here you are. You're alive. I saw this handbag. It looks just like you. Oh, Frank, I'm so relieved.
Oh,
Frank's
yeah.
face is everything.
Big relief right there.
And the last one, Positive Possum believes you can do anything.
Hey, thank
There
you,
it is.
Positive Possum. I needed that today. All right. Great show, man. Thank
Yes,
you for
sir.
wrangling that together. Thank you to Coach Dave Barnett for coming in. Congratulations on his retirement.
Yeah.
Thank you to Clay for pressing all the buttons, and you guys out there for watching. We love you. We'll talk to you in the morning.
Bye, everybody.